How's it going, everybody? My name's Infamous Isaac, and if you watched the last video, this is my video. You know that I mentioned I was gonna record this after that, and here I am now recording it after that Smite video. But I'm here to talk about two movies that I watched recently. And it's a Mortal Kombat duology as of right now, and it's a Mortal Kombat Legends: Scorpion's Revenge and Mortal Com. I forgot what the second one's called. Let me see. Where's my phone at? What? Yo. Oh, right here. Okay. Let me see. Cause like it came out recently, and I'll actually watch the second one first. I know there's been an up. I think it's Battle for the Realms. Yeah, Battle for the Realms. Okay. Yeah. Mortal Kombat: Scorpion's Revenge and Mortal Kombat: Battle for the Realms. And I watched both of them recently. Like, I think I watched Battle for the Realms on Saturday, and then Scorpion's Revenge yesterday. Actually, no, today. And I don't know if I'm gonna split it into two videos, so it won't be like an overload of information. But well, we'll see. We'll see how I go about it. But I'm gonna talk about Scorpion's Revenge first. And man, man, this movie was so lit, yeah. Oh my goodness, this movie was fire. All like, ironically, it was so dope. It was so dope. Learning or I don't know much about Mortal Kombat. What I know is mostly from my friends or playing a little bit of Mortal Kombat 10. But this was so cool to see Scorpion, see Hanzo Hasashi, seeing his backstory, seeing Bihan or Sub Zero show up, all the tragedy that happened, Scorpion losing his family, and then him being in the Nether Realm and fighting a bunch of demons just to get to Quan Chi. Like, oh man, Scorpion's side of the story was so good. Scorpion was lit, and I'm glad he was the main dude for this movie. He was so cool. But there's Scorpion, there's Liu Kang, who's on the side story, the B plot, and then there's Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade. I think Sonya Blade. Yeah, Sonya Blade, Jax. What's this dude's name? Oh my gosh. There's somebody. Raiden. There you go. Raiden. There for Earth Realm and all that. Kung Lao isn't here surprisingly, but yeah, what's it called? A bunch of people like Shang Tsung, Goro, Baraka, Reptile. A bunch of people show up, and it's so cool. Like my favorite part of the movie is the A plot, Scorpion stuff. I love that stuff so much. I think it's great. But the B plot isn't even bad either, because you have Johnny Cage here. He's dude wants a gig for a movie, but then he ends up fighting for Earthrealm somehow. And then he meets Sonya there, Liu Kang and Raiden, and then they start. Oh man, it's so cool. Um, Question is, should I go over the movie? Um, I'll do a brief overview over the movie. So the beginning starts with Scorpion, his backstory with his son, his clan being murdered by Bihan. Later on, who will find out who it actually is. But then Bihan kills Scorpion, or excuse me, Hanzo Hasashi. This isn't Scorpion yet. He kills Hanzo Hasashi after he kills his son, and Scorpion ends. Hanzo Hasashi sees he ends up in another room after he died, and he's there chained up. He breaks free. He kills a bunch of demons. He's like, the demons are like, oh, there's over 1,000 of us. How do you expect to win? And then I keep calling him Scorpion. Hanzo kills a demon. He's like, oh, -1, and then he just start brawling, and then he ends up in front of Quan Chi. Quan Chi's like, yo, you really just did that. And then they start brawling, but Quan Chi's stronger than him as of right now because he's not Scorpion yet. And then he's like, I'll revive you and I'll revive you and your family if you do this for me to help free Shinnok. And he's like, alright. And so he enters the Mortal Kombat tournament on like Quan Chi's side. I forgot. NetherRealm, on NetherRealm's side. And on the B plot, you have Johnny Cage, who's again looking for a movie gig, since he's an actor. he he gets a call from his manager. He's like, "Yo, we got a spot for you in China," and he goes over there. He meets Sonya and Liu Kang on a ship to go over to where he needs to go, and he's like, "Oh, nice to meet you guys. You guys are actors too. Lit. Let's get going." And him not knowing that he's entering Mortal Kombat, and Liu Kang and Raiden were talking about it before, like, "Oh, you're the chosen, you know." He chose you, or Raiden chose Liu Kang for a reason, and so he's gonna enter. Sonya's entering. I forgot why. It was a Spec Ops mission or something like that. Jax, he's not there yet. Jax isn't there yet, but oh man, it's just right now. It is Sonya, Liu Kang, Raiden, and Johnny Cage. Excuse me. Raiden can't enter because he's a god, but it's just those three as of right now. And then they get there. Shang Tsung's there. A bunch of old faces are there that you probably recognize if you know Mortal Kombat. I don't know much of Mortal Kombat except for what my friends told me, so I'm going off of that knowledge. But there's probably a bunch more characters that are there, but I don't know them. So they get to that tournament. Shang Tsung's there. Um, Shang Tsung brings out entertainment, quote unquote, and it shows Kano bringing in Jax. And Jax and Sonya have history and all that, so Sonya's like, "Yo, what are you doing? What are you doing to him?" And then Shang Tsung's like, he's here to he can walk out free if he beats my one of my subordinates. And then Goro walks out and he rips off Jax's arms, and that's how he gets metal arms, or he will get metal arms later on. But yeah, Jax is there. He's about to get killed, honestly, and then Raiden interferes. But before Raiden interferes, there's actually a scene where Scorpion's trying to snoop around to try to find the key that Quan Chi needs to free Shinnok. But Raiden comes in and he's like, "Yo, don't tell me Quan Chi told you that he can revive your family." And he's like, "He did, and there's no other way." And he's like, "You stupid. Revenge is dumb. Stop chasing revenge. Live for the future. Patrick Sites, what are you doing?" And so Scorpion's over there thinking about that. And then Raiden leaves. Like I said, he shows up to save Jax. And then he's like, "We're not here for your barbarism, Shang Tsung. We're here for the tournament." And so he's like, "Hmm." And then they start the tournament. Johnny Cage fights Baraka. Cool fight, honestly. Like the cinematography and the battles in this fight, the action is so cool. The fights are like I came here for the action, you know, and that's what I got. Honestly, it was so cool. The fights were mad good. But I'll tell you who's my favorite fight later on. Johnny Cage got a fight. He fought Baraka. He won because the building they were in collapsing. It was mad cool. Um, Sonya got a fight with Reptile. She won because Reptile was stupid. Kept going in, or kept coming out of his invisibility like an idiot. And then you have I don't remember who. Liu Kang fought Katana. That's who he fought. Okay, Liu Kang fought Katana. He spared her, and she was like, "How do you expect to beat Shao Kahn? He's too strong. Nobody can beat him." And then he's like, "I have one thing that nobody else in this tournament does." And then she's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "I have hope. Hope that we can win and beat Shao Kahn." And then she's like, "I forfeit. I'll hold you to that." And it was cool, honestly. It's really cool. I love Katana. She's dope. But yeah, Louis beats her. Well, not beats, but more like he makes her surrender. And then Scorpion, he shows up in front of Liu Kang and Sonya, since Liu Kang, Sonya, and Johnny got together. By the way, Sonya loves kicking Johnny in the balls for some reason. It's, yeah, I don't know. Dude, or excuse me, Johnny can be a bit of an oddball, a weirdo, because he's always trying to get with a woman, you know, sex drive. But kicking him in the balls twice, you're like, come on, G, you don't have balls, you don't know how that feels. But yeah, Scorpion shows up. Um, they're ready to fight him, and then Johnny's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Why are y'all fighting for it?" And they're like, "Because it's a tournament." But Johnny's like, "But we didn't start the tournament. Who says we had to fight each other?" And then like he asks Scorpion, "Did you start the tournament?" He's like, "No." Sonya and Louis, "Did you start the tournament?" "No." "Then why? Why did we fight?" And he's like, "All right, ceasefire for right now." And so they're talking, and Raiden shows up, and they're talking about how. Honestly, I forgot what they were talking about. I think it was just mostly winning the tournament, and how they can't let Shao Kahn win because if he does, then he can unite one of the realms with the other ones, like Earth Realm and Outworld. So we can't let that happen because Shao Kahn already won 9 tournaments, and if he gets to 10, he's gonna unite them. So that can't happen. But yeah, Scorpion's there like, yo, you can't do this. You know, it's hard enough to win as it is when you have 3 people. How you guys gonna do this? And then Louis saying something really bold on us. You know, it was like, yo, why would you say that? He's like, don't worry, Sonya. I know we can win. This dude has never fought for something worth saving in his life. And then that struck a chord in me because we've seen Scorpion, we've seen Hanzo Hasashi and his family, so it's just like, come on, Louis, you can't be saying that, dog. That's cold, bro. But it gets better later on. It gets better later on. So Scorpion leaves. He's just like, next time that we see each other, we're not allies. Prepare to battle. And then he's like, I'm counting on it. And so next up, they go to the final battles, right? Um, Kano is holding Jax hostage, so Sonya goes up to him. Sonya's getting beat up because there's a bunch of other people there. And Johnny shows up and he starts helping her. And it shows Johnny can actually fight. Like he's ready to battle, bro. It's so cool that scene between Johnny and Sonya. Like I love the way that their relationship works in this, even though they're not dating. Like I love the way that they work as a duo. It's so good. But a thing that sucks is like I'll explain it in the second movie. But yeah, they free Jax. Kano dies. It was honestly it was a really cool scene. But next up is Shang Tsung having Goro fight Louis since like Louis, Raiden, and Scorpion are now there. Or excuse me, Louis and Raiden are there now. Um, so Shang Tsung has Goro come up, step to the plate, fight Liu Kang. Raiden can't do anything because he's a god. If he interferes, then the elder gods are gonna come down and give him crazy punishment. So he can't do anything. But that's fine with him because he believes in Liu Kang that he can beat him. And so they start fart they excuse me, they not start farting, start fighting. Oh my goodness. But yeah, they start fighting. Oh my goodness. And Louis starts losing. Um Not surprised because Goro was kind of cracked apparently. So they start fighting, and Louis starts losing. But Scorpion, not Zoro. What I don't know what I'm talking about. But Scorpion comes in and helps out Louis, tells him like, "Yo, you need to stop Shang Tsung," and what's it called? Or you need to live, bro. So Scorpion kills what's his face, Goro, and he's like, "Yo, I have business with Quan Chi. Okay, it's time." Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention. Oh, I missed over an important part of the movie. My favorite part of the movie. So after, or actually, a little bit after they what's it called? They met up during like it was like Scorpion, Sonya, what's his dude's name? Johnny Cage and Louis. Like after they had that conversation, they met up again, but this time it was like a bunch of other people fighting with them or fighting against them, and then Sub Zero shows up since it's like the Black Dragon showed up, and then Sub Zero showed up. That's who they were fighting. Okay, Scorpion sees a Sub Zero or Bihan, excuse me, and he just goes ballistic. He starts brawling it out with Bihan, like one of my favorite fights of the movie. It was so sick. They start fighting, and um, Bihan dies. Scorpion kills him. One of the sickest fights in the movie, and they're impaled because he pushed or jumped off with Bihan into like a pit, and they got impaled together since Scorpion was on top of him and Bihan was below, and they got impaled together. Bihan is dead, and Scorpion's there barely alive. And Quan Chi shows up and he's like, "You were supposed to be my pawn, and you died this easily. You're worthless." And then he leaves him there to die. And then later on, now back to the present where I was talking about before, Quan Chi sees Scorpion again. He's like, "You made it back, as expected on my pawn." And then Scorpion's like, "Pathetic. You're trash." Just a bunch of crazy stuff. And Quan Chi reveals that it wasn't Bihan who killed his family. It was it was him. It was Quan Chi. And so Scorpion gets even madder because Quan Chi is like, "Hopefully you put up more of a fight than your son or your wife did." And he just starts brawling with Quan Chi. Crazy, crazy fight. Like, honestly, probably the best fight in the entire movie. It was so cool. But yeah, they start brawling. Um, Scorpion, no, he comes out on top. He does a fatality on him. He does a get over here on him. It's crazy. It was so good. And Scorpion dealt with Shao or with Shang Tsung. He didn't kill him, but he gave him the key that he needed, so they wouldn't revive Shinnok. And now Scorpion has that. And so what's it called? After that, Shang Tsung leaves. He left before Quan Chi fought Scorpion, but he's now over there with Shao Kahn, and he's talking to him. He's like, "You fool! How could you let them do this?" And he's like, "I'm sorry. I got bodied." And so he's like, "Prepare the armies. We're invading Earthrealm." And so that's going on that side. And then Raiden was talking to Liu Kang after that. Since they escaped, some Scorpion took the fall, basically. And what's it called? He's talking to Liu Kang, telling him like, "You didn't fail me, because your purpose wasn't to beat Shang Tsung. Your purpose was to beat Shao Kahn." And then like the movie all dramatic and all that, it starts happening. They're all on a boat together. It's Jax, um, Sonya, Johnny, and what's his face, Raiden and Louis. They're all on a boat together now, and he's talking to Johnny's talking to Jax, saying like, "Do you think I'll ever get a chance to, or do you think she'll ever fall for me?" And then Jax is like, "Does she kick you in the nuts?" And he's like, "Yep, multiple times." And then the movie ends there with like all that foreboding stuff happening, and that was it. That was the end of the movie. It was so it was so hype, honestly. I loved it. I loved what's it called? The first movie. The first movie was so good. Like the battles were good. The animation was crazy. The gore was. I'm not a gore person, but Mortal Kombat's gore is crazy. Like it was nutty, and it was just mad fun. Movie was really fun to watch. It was only 100 or not 100, excuse me, 80 minutes long. It's definitely worth the watch if you can find it. If you watch it, I mean. So I definitely recommend the movie. That movie was great. It was an 8 out of 10, honestly. I loved it. But now it's time to talk about the second movie, honestly. So let's see how that goes. I'm probably gonna be shorter since this movie is a little different. But I watched this movie first, right? So these are a little later on the first impressions. But excuse me. But yeah. Or actually, hmm, hmm. Alright, actually, I'm gonna just make it a separate video. I'm gonna just make it a separate video and upload these as two different ones. So yeah, I'm gonna just cut that out, and then I'm gonna start recording the second one. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I enjoyed this movie. If you haven't watched it, honestly, go watch it. It's really cool. Like I highly recommend watching the movie. Scorpion was the best part of the movie. It was lit. Honestly, it was so good. But yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you have a great day, and I'll check y'all out. Peace.